Over the past few weeks, there have been several reports of mammals, including minks, otters, foxes, and sea lions, having been infected with H5N1 avian influenza. H5N1 has spread widely in wild birds and poultry for 25 years, but the recent spillover to mammals needs to be monitored closely. For the moment, WHO assesses the risk to humans as low. Since H5N1 first emerged in 1996, we have only seen rare and non-sustained transmission of H5N1 to and between humans. But we cannot assume that will remain the case, and we must prepare for any change in the status quo. As always, people are advised not to touch or collect dead or sick wild animals, but to report them to the local authorities. WHO is working with national authorities and partners to monitor the situation closely and to study cases of H5N1 infection in humans when they occur. WHO's Global Laboratory Network, the Global Influenza Surveillance and Response System, identifies and monitors strains of circulating influenza viruses and provides advice to countries on their risk to human health and available treatment or control measures. WHO recommends countries strengthen surveillance in settings where humans and farmed or wild animals interact. WHO is also continuing to engage with manufacturers to make sure that, if needed, supplies of vaccines and antivirals would be available for global use.
For poultry farms across Europe and North America, there are few words as devastating as avian flu.
It's deadly. The pathogenic forms of avian influenza, including H5N1, it's a very severe infection with a very high mortality rate.
The saving grace has been that this virus, while deadly, didn't spread easily beyond birds. And while human cases are still rare, birds are no longer the only ones getting sick. And that, experts say, is a growing source of alarm.
People are concerned that the virus is the H5N1, or the avian species of influenza, is becoming more transmissible.
Much of this concern stems from a recent outbreak on a mink farm in northwestern Spain. The outbreak happened back in October, but in January, genetic sequencing revealed these animals had been infected with a new strain of H5N1, one that seems to allow avian flu to spread more easily mammal to mammal.
So the way influenza works is, like COVID, it continues to change, but it has a unique mechanism where if two different flus infect the same animal at the same time, they can actually mix their genetic material and a brand new flu emerges.
It's why the scientific community is watching the virus closely and calling for an increase in surveillance of animal health worldwide.
The concern is if it's more easily transmitted between mammal hosts, could it jump into humans, and could there be mutations that facilitate transmission?
On the heels of COVID, that's not something anyone wants to see. The good news is work on potential avian flu vaccines and antivirals are already well underway, so that if this virus does change to become a greater global threat, the world won't be caught so unprepared. Heather Urix West, Global News, Calgary.